All right. Well, I'm so glad to be talking to you. This is awesome.
I'm glad to be talking to you too, especially since your organization has helped me a lot with my private practice.
Oh, good. Good. I'm so glad to hear that. I was just so stoked to see when you posted that you made it, you know?
Yes.
Woo! Yeah, that's good. That's awesome. So I have some questions to ask, and then just so that we kind of cover things in an order of where were you before and
Right.
how did you get here?
Yeah,
And,
yeah, I have a note. So
oh, good. Awesome. Awesome. So maybe we can just kind of dive in and then go through it. I really kind of want to unpack, what was going on for you originally in terms of, I know that you said that you wanted to be in practice for yourself for 20 years.
and then I thought, I think it's more like 30.
Oh my gosh.
But I just had no idea how to go about it.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, well, why did you want it in the first place? That sounds maybe kind of like an obvious question, but some people don't want it, right?
Well, that's true.
Yeah. So what drove you to really want it?
Well, I worked in community mental health for many years, and that's a very serious, very heavy duty, serious mental problems. And that could bring me down. And see, before I went into social work, as a teenager, I had chronic fatigue syndrome, and I had it most of my adult life.
Oh, wow.
And then so I got a job. Working community mental health, which I liked the clients, but they were so serious. It was in Detroit, so a lot of substance abuse.
Right.
And sometimes their depression was so bad that I could barely keep my eyes open. I felt the energy of it.
Yeah.
But they gave me a lot of vacation time, which I needed because I used it every bit to try to recover from working.
Right.
And so I just didn't know any other way. I didn't have confidence, and I knew how to do this, and so that's what I did.
Right.
In the 1990s, I called a couple of places to find out how much it cost to rent, and
Right.
it was so high for my income, and I knew it could take months to get a client, and I had no idea how to do the insurance, and so I was just tired all the time, and I just kept doing what I was doing.
Wow.
I got jobs that got a little better as time went on.
Mm-hmm. With more experience, you got to be a little more picky with the jobs that you took, I guess?
Well, no, I don't know. I just got a little higher functioning jobs, but so then it takes me to, well, actually my fatigue got so bad that in 96 and 97, I couldn't work for 6 months because I was just so exhausted. I think some of it had to do with the client population, and we had caseloads of over 100.
Ooh.
And I understand people in private practice don't have caseloads of 100 to 200 people.
No.
So that's one thing that would motivate me.
Oh, wow.
So then I went to a job where I worked contractually. It was a big group practice, and it was a lot of low income. So to make a good income, I had to see a lot of clients. So
right.
It was hectic, but it was better than all community mental health clients.
Because they were just higher functioning, I assume. Even though
so we still had a contract with community mental health, so we had a lot of those kind of clients. But this agency took all insurances, which is good because a lot of them won't.
Right.
But to compensate, the quality wasn't as good, and I was seeing more clients than ever. I did make more money there, but so I was kind of content in some ways because my clients really appreciated me, and the staff appreciated me, and I was making what I felt was good money.
Right.
But then in 2013, there was a big problem with community mental health contract, and the community mental health contract decided to take back $400,000 from the company I was working for. And then the company told me that they were going to have to take back $11,000 from me.
What?
Yeah, I never knew something like that could happen. And some of my coworkers who made more money than me, they were taking back $25,000, $50,000. I was just furious. And we tried to get together, a lawyer, and he said, well, honestly, you don't have a good chance of winning this case. And that's when I decided, I've got to figure out a way to do private practice.
Yeah, you can't be at the mercy of that kind of thing happening.
Yeah, so I found a little bitty office near where I worked and near where I lived.
Mm-hmm.
And I signed up for it, and I started to, a friend of mine that had left the agency, she helped me do my first Blue Cross Blue Shield application.
Good.
So I got a little start there, and I figured out how to do another few other insurances. So I
Uh-huh.
started to see people at there.
Yeah.
Put my ad in Psychology Today,
Right.
but I didn't get many responses. And then I kind of looked at the whole picture. In the city I practice, there's 4 really big group practices.
Mm-hmm.
And there's already 85 other therapists on the Psychology Today. Plus there's the other, therapists near me.
Right.
And so I wasn't getting much business. And my friend said, you really got to go out and give talks. And I just couldn't get myself to do that. Oh, would you like me to come give you a talk so I can attract clients to me?
Right.
So I kept putting that off. And then they never did take that money from me.
Oh, good.
So then I made my own website on GoDaddy.
Yeah.
And I heard your experience. I spent a lot of hours on it. I'm an artist. I put some of my own art on it.
Mm-hmm.
I can know how to write, so I put that on. But that didn't really seem to help.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't know. I was at a deadlock, I didn't want to
Yeah.
give talks. I didn't want to go to doctor's offices saying, please come have your clients see me.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I didn't want to give up. I put all this work into it, and the job I was working, the insurances were paying less. So my good pay was going downhill.
Ah.
And then, so I asked a friend of mine, we prayed, what should I do about it? Because I was ready to give up. I should have given up because I wasn't even hardly making my little rent price,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't want to. And so she said, let's pray that would the best possible arrangement for you and the universe. And
Mm-hmm.
then I was looking on YouTube how to market, and I came across the talk that you gave. And it was just at that time that you were starting your university, where you offered to help people teach them to do it if they didn't want to
Right.
put the big bucks in to have a professional website developed.
Right.
And I thought, well, I can afford that amount in a month, and I know I don't mind working hard, so I joined it,
Mm-hmm.
and I followed along with the videos, and I found out that my website being at GoDaddy was a big mistake.
Yeah.
So I switched it to HostGator with WordPress,
Yeah.
and I learned how to use that. And my nephew, he's a young 20s, he helped me with that, and they would help me when I called and asked. So that was
Right.
a big thing. I basically did away with all the hours of work at GoDaddy and started a new website.
Yeah. Which is
And then,
hard to do, but
yeah, to learn WordPress, GoDaddy was simpler.
yeah.
And then my nephew said the theme I picked was old-fashioned and too many people used it. So he put on a different theme, and I'm like, what? You changed my theme? Okay, wait a minute. Let's just go with it. He knows more than I do about it.
Uh-huh.
And then you had said, well, when you do the blogging, it's going to take time to get people to come in.
Yeah.
So I started the blogging, and not as often as I was recommended.
Of course. None of us have time to do it, right? And you're in good.
I'm very busy.
Yeah.
And then I found out at my group practice that some of the therapists were given the high-paying insurances, whereas I wasn't. And that made me so furious that I found another group practice to go to. And that was higher functioning people. But at a cost, I took a lower cut. And they said, we pay everybody 50%. I found out later that's not true. Some they pay more. And I just, there's just things about wherever you go, their decisions that if a person had a deductible, they wouldn't ask the people to pay for the deductible until they found out from the insurance companies that they wouldn't. And by that time, sometimes the clients were gone and I never got my money, and that would make me mad. I'd have to pay for a dog sitter because this one was too far from home to
Right.
let my dog out.
Yeah.
And so, and also at that time, kind of accidentally, one of the EAP companies that company I worked for, they put me on at my private practice. And they started to give me clients. They don't pay well, but they're easy, and they don't have to worry about deductible. They don't have to copay. And they do video, and they found out I was one of the few people that do video. So I'm starting to see people in Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And
So they allowed you to do that through the EAP.
Yeah, and so a lot of my clients, they don't have enough therapists to take this low-paying EAP.
Right.
So they didn't have enough in their area, so I would get them.
Right.
So that increased my business. And then after a while, the blogging and the good website, people would email me and say, are you still taking new clients?
Yeah.
Or when can I come in? It wasn't
Yeah.
like, I want to meet with you to see if I'll like you.
Right.
They looked at my website. I did do some video web blogging.
Good.
They read it and they said, I think you'd be the perfect therapist for me.
Right. Awesome.
So
Awesome.
eventually I've gotten more clients that way and through the EAP.
Uh-huh.
And then it just started to build up and build up. And then I just realized I can let go of the other job.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah. So that's how it happened.
So what city are you in actually? What's the practicing?
It's Clinton Township, which is one of the suburbs of Detroit, north of Detroit.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're ranking there for your specialties, or at least some of them.
I don't know. Once you looked up you said you need to blog more. I think you looked up I was 18 or something. I haven't even looked. Because I just have enough clients that I'm happy.
Okay.
I'm not the highest paid, but you know, the other jobs too. The thing that was so distressing is a lot of the clients, they really didn't want to see me. Not that they didn't have anything against me, but it was the rule of the agency to get medication, see the psychiatrist, they had to see me. And they had better things to do with their time.
Sure. They just wanted the drugs and they wanted to feel better.
Yeah, they would come up with reasons and they would cancel or not come. Sometimes I'd have 5 people or 5 people cancel out of 10. I mean, 5 out of 10. I'd be just furious.
Yeah.
And now I have clients who want to see me.
Yeah.
If they cancel, it's because they're really sick or there's 10 inches of snow. You know, it's not
exactly.
They don't feel like it.
So it sounds like, I mean, you were just not in control of your destiny before.
No, there was a lot I didn't have control over. And some clients thought the world of me and some of them just put up with me.
Sure. They didn't really want to be there. It's almost like
they didn't.
Almost like court mandated therapy or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Same kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And so now you put yourself out there in a way that expresses who you are. People are finding you and they're really jiving with what you're saying, it sounds like.
Yeah.
On your site.
Right.
Yeah. I definitely noticed that big switch myself, and I hear that from a lot of people that the call quality is so different. Yeah, like you said, they email like, are you still seeing clients? Hey, do you have any openings on Tuesday evening or whatever, right? I mean, it's a totally different conversation. Yeah.
Yes. Before I had to take anybody and everybody.
Yeah. And you were exhausted, it sounds like. I mean,
I was very tired. I was drained. It was just, I didn't feel like I had time for lunch hour. So I would gobble down food, and that was common. People don't, at the last group practice, which is one of the higher functioning group practices and very well run, only one person there took a lunch hour. It just felt like we don't know when clients are going to come. We'll squeeze it in when we can. It's insane that we're to help people with become mentally healthy, and we're not always that. Have our own mental health practices.
Oh yeah, you're not doing self-care. It's not sustainable ultimately. It's just not sustainable. Wow. Well,
and the other thing I wanted to say that helped is I found Facebook groups that was helpful. Before, it felt like it was me against the big health insurance companies.
Uh-huh.
And then there's one on Facebook that helps people with credentialing and health insurances.
Right.
So there's thousands of people. The insurance companies are so different from state to state.
Right.
That sometimes they can't really help, but at least I feel like I'm not the only one, and sometimes they can help me. Then you have a good Facebook group that was helpful to read. Then there's another one that just in general, people who want to have more abundant practice, but there's a lot of general information.
Right.
I mean, when I said that I had was only doing private practice, that one, 400 people that I do not know liked and complimented me.
Yes.
I mean, amazing.
Yeah. Support.
So it's not just me alone in this big competitive world. There's other people who are doing it and want to help each other out.
Exactly. Yeah. And are so happy for you that you're doing it. And then also wonder, how did you do it? Because I want that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone wants the same thing. They want.
Oh, and the other thing is electronic records.
Mm-hmm.
People say, I don't want to bother that, or they would hire billers. but I learned how to do electronic records. And at first, each insurance company is a little different. But now it's for the most part, I put in my note for insurance companies that I put in my note, I hit the button, it sends the notice to the billing or the insurance company. The insurance company sends a bill to my office, the payment to my office or into my bank account.
Nice.
There's a Medicare I can't use for my electronic records they use different NPI. So there's a Office Alley clearinghouse, and they save my insurance information. They save my client information. So I just populate those in, put in the dates, put in that I take their payment, hit the button, and they send it out. Then it comes back. Nice. And if there's I'm not the best with details, so often I'll make a mistake. And before electronic records, I would send it out by paper. Yeah. And I take a month or two to get back. Oh, you made this mistake. One person, I made 2 mistakes. So it took me about 2 or 3 months before I got paid because of mistakes. I was afraid I was never going to get paid. Now within 2 weeks, they'll say, you made a mistake here on this line. Right. Oh, yes, I did. So I correct it, send it back.
Okay, awesome. So how much is insurance? What percentage of your practice do you think is insurance or Medicare at this point?
Oh, most of my practice is insurance.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Probably about a third is Medicare right now.
Okay.
Maybe a fourth, and then about half is the comp psych.
Okay. Okay. So here's a question that some people might wonder. If half of it is insurance, why do you even need a website? Don't they find you on the insurance panel?
Well, they do, but sometimes people they'll look up who takes their insurance on the EAP. Yeah. And they'll look them up, and they still have looked me up and said, I picked you because of what I read on your website. Okay, so it's still competitive even though you're on the panel because they're going to your website and they're seeing who they... Yeah, they're saying, well, which one of these do I want to see? I was given like 5 names. Exactly, right. So so that's where you're finding, so some of those leads are still coming through insurance, but you're expressing yourself in a way. The ones that aren't EAP do come through from Psychology Today and the website. Okay, all right, awesome. And what's the pay differential between the EAP and the pure private pay? Well, it really differs because even the third parties have gone so much down in price. It differs per each one state. Is different. Yeah. Like the EAP is the lowest, but not that much lower than Cigna, Humana, Beacon Options. They're only about $5 less. Okay. Yeah. So it's worth it. Yeah. They're so easy to bill. Yeah. That's really good that they're easy to bill. Yeah. Because that's the horror story, right? And it's so nice to have to do video. Cigna and Magellan are doing video now, but I don't know if their clients know that, how many of their clients know it. I know Blue Cross Blue Shield does it in some states. It doesn't do it in our state yet. So do the insurance companies actually promote that? I don't know. I have saw it on the newsletter, but how many people have time to read a monthly newsletter? Yeah, sure. Yeah. So do you find that some people come and they ask that for the video, and then some people are like, you tell them that you do that? And then they're like, oh, wow, that's what I want? Or how does that work? Well, some of them refer to me because they don't have clinicians in their area. Yeah, okay. So they say, well, we do have this therapist who does video. Right. And so in Michigan, you don't have to see them face to face first. You can just hop on the video immediately. No, is that how it's true in other states? In Colorado, you have to have one session face to face before. Oh, I had no idea. Yeah. No? Yeah. No, so I send out a consent for treatment, and I tell them how to do doc so they can sign it digitally, because most people don't have printers anymore. Sure. Many of my clients don't. They do a lot through their phone. Right, exactly. Right. Okay, awesome. So I get my consent, and then some people, they're too busy. They have a disabled child and they're working extra hours, and they don't have time to come see me, even though I'm 25 minutes away, which isn't I would go 25 minutes for a good therapist.
Sure.
But, I understand sometimes they just don't have the time.
Yeah. Right. Sure. Life is too darn busy these days. That's for sure. Yeah. Driving. Who has time to do that? Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. So, Suzanne, what would happen if you hadn't figured this out?
I think I'd be depressed, and I would keep being tired out and worn out, and just do the best I can. I'm 60, so I have about 8 more years before I retire. I would make it, but it just there's times that I've thought, what other career could I do? Because sometimes it's exciting, but a lot of times, at least with the other practices where I wasn't seeing clients who wanted to see me, it was discouraging and draining. And I felt like I know people of other professions that get paid, they're taking vacations in Europe and wherever they want to go. And I'm like, what family can I stay with for my motel?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I could afford to do more, but since I worked at agencies that didn't have retirement plans, I'm thinking I need to put my extra money into my retirement so I'm not poor when I retire.
Sure. Yep.
So I guess I'd be poor, basically, if I didn't stick with this when I retired.
Yeah, well, I want to just, hats off to you that you just were so determined and you kept working it, because, I mean, chronic fatigue is that's nothing to shake a
stick. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did recover from that through another practice, a spiritual practice I have. It took about 10 years.
Awesome.
After 2007, I'm pretty much normal or higher than more energy level.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Because that can just take people down.
It does. And it does. It's something you're truly powerless over.
Yes. Wow. You're resourceful. You know that?
Well, I mean, it's painful too. I mean, when you have this much pain, you're like a lot of other people with chronic pain, you're looking, what can I try? I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this. I put thousands of dollars into things that didn't do anything, but who wants to, you want to have energy like other people. Exactly.
Yeah. So you're really, really motivated to find something.
Yeah.
Works.
And now the other thing I wanted to mention, it's jumping around though, about my website, is I really did want it to be something that would help other people.
Sure.
Because I'm an educator. I'm always handing out handouts when people are reading paper.
Yeah.
And so this is so good that some of the things that people don't know that much about, that I kept repeating the same thing over and over. Now I just say, I want you to read this blog article on the after effects of trauma. Yes. I want you to read the blog article on natural ways to help you sleep at night when you have insomnia.
Yeah.
It's just, I just hope that it will somehow spread to people who maybe never see me.
Sure.
Because I know one thing that kept me from not putting up more blogging is I wanted it to be so good that I would spend hours doing the research to make the very best blog article so that it will be there.
Yeah.
For a good resource.
Which is great, right? That's a win, right? It makes you feel really good. It provides something for them.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about at the end of the day, helping people.
Yeah.
So whether you end up seeing them or not, if somebody calls and you talk to them and you can refer them there, that's awesome.
Just my friends and family, I say, hey, here's a link.
Sure.
You having trouble sleeping? Check. You don't want to use meds? Check this out.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. That's great. Wow. So you really went through it, it sounds like. That's great. What would you tell other people? Like, what would you tell someone else? Let's say someone out in the, in some Facebook group says, okay, I am really tired. I'm trying to figure this thing out. I've tried. I think that I was kind of struck by the similarities when you talked about chronic fatigue and how you want to achieve what other people have achieved, right? Which is just to feel good. Same thing with therapy marketing, right? I see these people over here and they have practices that work and I can't do it. I keep trying thing after thing after thing that doesn't work. So what would you tell other people? What would your advice be?
I think it is to do a website has search engine optimization, and you explain how to do that. Now I want to ask you, related to this, GoDaddy has WordPress,
Mm-hmm.
but is it in a way that is good for search engine optimization? Or I think somewhere you said it wasn't the way they set it up or something.
Yeah. So WordPress, you can set up WordPress on a number of different hosts, and GoDaddy is a host.
Right.
So you can set it up, but the thing is, they aren't going to tell you how to set up your pages right, and how to set up your blog correctly and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so it's how you it's really how you set it up. Do you still have that university that people can pay so much a month?
Yeah, we still.
Well, I would if you either that they have it done professionally through an organization like yours, which it's a good investment,
Mm-hmm.
or if they just want to, if they're like themselves, me, that you just want to do it yourself kind of person.
Yeah.
Join that university and really stick to following the recommendations and do it yourself. Because if you put in the time, the people will come to you.
Yeah. And did you ask questions? I don't remember. I know that you showed up in the Facebook group.
I did some. First I did. Yeah. When I didn't know how to do this.
Or validation that you're doing it right or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And then what would you say to people? It sounds like it was awesome that you found ComPsych, right? So are there certain...
They found me accidentally.
Oh, they found you.
But my coworker who actually initially helped me to start the whole thing, she's been in it for 5 years, and she said still a large amount of her clients are EAP.
Okay.
So she does for the other companies. I don't know. The other companies, I do take EAP, and they haven't sent them. Only one or two, not that many. So I don't know. Somehow they have found her, and they haven't found me. And I know if I made more effort, they could find me. But I don't want more clients.
Sure.
I don't want too many, and then have to turn them away.
Yeah, sure. It's always a balancing act, right?
I want.
You're not
more, but not too many more.
Right. Yeah, you're yourself, and there's only so many hours in the day. So
yeah. This is one kind of job that if you overdo, then your quality goes downhill, and you don't. I don't want to hurt somebody from being overtired and snapping at them. And
sure,
I've heard horror stories of people who've seen 3, 4, 5 other therapists, and they have not either. It hasn't been effective, or they haven't been treated well.
Yeah,
really a lot of inappropriate things.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say, and I is to develop your skills. I retook EMDR training last year,
mm-hmm.
and I'm really happy. That's a fantastic, very helpful practice.
Yeah.
But if you increase your skills, people, they know it, and they'll spread the word.
Yeah, and stay longer, right?
Yeah.
Because getting results.
Well, no, sometimes, I mean.
Sometimes you're so fast.
They get better faster.
I guess that's the downside.
10 sessions, and they're like, "Oh, you help me much better than anybody else, and I'm out of here."
Yeah, but you also know.
Then they'll refer somebody to you. So. And
also, if something comes up again for them, they're going to be back to you.
That's true. Yeah.
They had a good experience with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm just so glad to hear that things have turned around for you. That's awesome, man. It sounds like you were just juggling so many plates before to try to make it work, and good for you. Way cool. All right. Any last words that you want to share?
Let me just glance at my notes, see if there's anything else. Oh, I wanted to mention, and I don't know if other people feel like this, because people say, I don't want to deal with those insurance companies.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it is a little snarly. But I had the feeling that it was me against them. But when I actually call their provider line, they
mm-hmm.
are helpful. And I think they do want to help.
Yeah.
So just make the phone calls and don't give up and keep at it.
Yeah. And it sounds like get on the side of empowerment rather than being totally lost. Once you got on the empowered side, you could see that it would be a good thing.
Yeah. And there's really many, there's so many more people that need therapy than are receiving it.
Sure.
That whatever way, if you have the humility to go to the doctor's office and say, I specialize in this, do you want, so I've heard some people get, a doctor will give them all their, say when they they know that the therapist is good, they'll send a lot of clients there that don't otherwise find their way in to see a therapist.
Sure. Yeah. I think a lot of it is dependent upon your personality and your energy and all of that. If you
Mhm.
have the ability to go in and market yourself that way, then that's great. Or the
Yeah.
energy or the time. And some people do and some people don't. You know, some people are more natural networkers than others. So
Right, right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, cool. Well, hey, this is awesome. It's awesome, awesome news. I'm so glad that you're like just, you know, in a place where you want to be with the number of clients that you want to be, the money that you want to have. You know, you have the ability to put money away for retirement and
Mhm, mhm.
work yourself to death. And
Yeah, I have 2 days off a week now.
great,
And my practice is close enough that I can let my dog out,
good.
go home at lunch hour, walk
Yeah,
her a bit, eat, come
yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah. Self-care, right? Eat lunch.
Yeah. Like I said, I almost feel like I'm partly on vacation
Yeah,
because I have less clients and more time to myself, and it's clients that give me energy sometimes
yes, yes.
instead of pull from me.
Yeah, good for you. Way good. Awesome. All right, ma'am. Well, thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for spending the time. I'm gonna put this in the Private Practice University group, I think,
Good, good.
and let people hear that it's possible. I think a lot of people don't feel it's possible.
I
That's
know,
getting
I
over.
know. They just like it. Just the whole. It is a lot of steps. It just seems so overwhelming that they don't want to.
Yeah, yeah. They just can't see their way through. So I
Yeah.
think it's so important for people to realize this is possible. It really,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, because your beliefs are going to affect everything. If you really believe it's not possible, you're going
Well,
to,
the knowledge that you provide and the belief and the energy wrapped together, because
yeah, it is, it's totally possible. Yeah,
yes,
yeah. So we got to let more people know that. That's for
right,
sure.
right.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks, Suzanne. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome.
Have a good rest of the day off, ma'am.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Same to you.
Yeah, I'm going to go try to find a beach somewhere, I think.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah. The
Enjoy
sun
the
is
sunshine.
yeah, got to go do it when the sun is shining. So,
Okay.
okay, thanks, Suzanne.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Take care.
All right. Bye bye.